kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour, gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather
Well, hello and welcome. You've got
Hello.
it's Roger Randall and
Chill Will Rocco.
we're here
In the
tonight
house.
on Thirsty Thursday on the Bourbon Legends.
Mhm.
We've got a good show for you tonight. Kind of got a few things here. We're going to move some things around a little bit to get accommodate our guest, who many of you guys would know has young children and needs to be there for them later. So we're going to move some things around with the show tonight.
Yep.
First, I want to remind everybody is we still have the giveaway for the Booker's batch. It's the batch 4 of 2024,
Mhm.
which is Jimmy's batch. And we were fortunate enough to get Fred No to sign the bottle, as well as Jimmy Russell, and of course his Jimmy's wife, who was the earlier employee at Wild Turkey than him. So
Yep.
it's
Worked
a
there
very
longer than
nice
Mr. Jimmy.
piece.
Mhm.
We had a great time meeting him and getting it all signed and autographed. Couldn't have been nicer. Couldn't have been a better guy.
I'm not going to say that this is the only one in existence, but it probably is.
Yeah, I don't know many people that would go and do both and get both, and
Yeah.
because it took a little bit of magic to get it to happen, especially in the
Yeah.
same trip. So
So yeah, just up there in the corner, the little Venmo link. One chance for 5, 3 chances for 10, 10 chances for 20. So throw your money in there for a chance to win this pretty exclusive Bookers, and that helps the Bourbon Legends, get barrel picks and things like that. More things for you guys out there watching us tonight.
which those things that we are in discussions on those in 2025, we're going to probably have a few of those to work with, which will be nice, and some real good retailers to work with, and partners with the distilleries. So looking forward to that. Any other excitement going on this week, Will?
I mean, there's just all kinds of excitement, work, and all that stuff. But today we celebrated my oldest boy's birthday, so we got to hang out with Roger Randall for his birthday for a little bit. Got to try some good drinks at Rocktown, and just had a good time. Came home, had some chocolate cake. That's why I was a little late getting to StreamYard tonight.
Uh-oh. Am I gonna lose you early to the chocolate cake coma?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I just had a small piece, so I don't
Tell
think
your
I'll be
son
passing
there's
out.
balloons for his birthday. So
Awesome, will do.
all right. Well, the next thing I want to remind you guys about that's coming up here soon is we've got 500 subscribers. We're getting close. So I want to remind everybody we need a few more people to hop on, to like and subscribe. If you're joining us tonight and have not, make sure you subscribe because one, it's going to be your way of entering our raffle we're going to do here in a little bit. But two, it's going to help us out so we can get to 500 subscribers. And once we get there, we're going to have a giveaway that's going to be really, really good. It'll probably be first part of the year next year after Bourbon Santa's out, done making his path around the country, and we'll have Craig on, and we'll have a big old time. Okay, and tonight, let's get this up. There we go. Got Will on
Mhm.
here. So, Will, we've got Whit Hagemann on, and I'll bring him on here in a second. He is with ASW Distillery,
Yep.
which is the parent company for Fiddler, which is the
Hmm.
brand, is one of their brands that they have. And we're going to be discussing those two things tonight. Um, so let's see if I can make this seamless and jump over there and add everybody to the stage, and we'll everybody welcome Whit. There we
Hey,
go.
there we are. There we are.
I'm going to change this the background here a little bit. It's
All
festive, but
good.
it blocks everybody.
Yeah. It's green now.
Yeah, it's green, but hold on, let me get rid of it.
All good. You guys having a good night?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How about you?
Super good night. Super good night. Super excited to be here on the show with the Bourbon Legends. Yeah, ready to dive into whatever you guys want to chat about tonight. I'm excited. Poured myself a little dram and have a few more options set up, so I'm ready to go.
All right.
That
Awesome. Yeah,
works.
we've got a list of questions, that we're going to go through, and pretty much just want to give you an opportunity to talk about, you know, what it's like working in the whiskey business. What why people should buy your brand. Stuff like that. Just
Yeah,
kind of give you an opportunity to talk about what you do, your craft, and what you love. So,
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
uh,
right.
super happy to talk about all that. Just want to make
Yep.
sure everyone can hear me clearly.
Yeah, I
Yep,
got you loud and clear. Yep.
catch it loud and
Awesome.
clear.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so ASW Distillery, the whole company really it launched as a non-distilling producer that made like a spirit whiskey. It was called just American Spirit Whiskey. So that was the original ASW, and that was around 2013 when that became a thing. However, Jim and Charlie, the owners of ASW, we're like, we want to do this thing for real. We want to make our own whiskey. We want to distill it. We want it to be something that we have created. So then they ran into this guy named Justin, who essentially he was a dude that came in with a liquid resume. So they were looking for a distiller at the time. They were expecting maybe they would be able to get a third shift employee over at Brown Foreman or something like that, but instead they found Justin, which was one of the best, I don't think accidents, but one of the best accidents that could ever happen, because Justin did not make whiskey by the books. He wasn't trying to build a continuous column distillery, just making traditional corn mash and traditional rye style whiskeys. Like he wanted to make something unique. So when he first came on board. They built out the distillery in 2015, and then 2016 is when we finally started putting whiskey into barrels. So we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary. Next year, we'll actually have some whiskeys that are actually. Did we just do our 10-year anniversary? We either just did our 10-year anniversary. We're about yeah, because technically 2015 is when we got going, but 2016 is when we started making whiskey. So technically, we did just have our that anniversary anyway. So making whiskey was a big part of what Justin wanted to do. He came in, built a traditional pot style distillery. So he built a distillery that'd be very similar to what they would use in Scotland and Ireland. The stills that he built were Vendome style stills with his system of whiskey that he'd been doing for 25 years. He came in, started designing all these really unique whiskeys. One of the first ones being Resurgence Rye, which is a 100% rye malt whiskey, which at the time, no one was really doing that. There was Old Petrorio and a few others that were 100% rye malt, but it was a very rare style of making whiskey. But Resurgence Rye malt was one of the first things that we distilled in-house. And then Fiddler Soloist, which is a pot distilled bourbon. I actually have a bottle of that right here. So Fiddler Soloist, this one right here is 100% made in-house. This one is not a sourced whiskey. However, there's two sides to every coin, because we wanted to not only make pot distillation style whiskey, we also source whiskey. So Fiddler started as a brand where we decided that we wanted to make something that was approachable, something that a lot of people could enjoy. And we didn't want to just take sourced whiskey and put it in a bottle. We wanted to fiddle with it. So Fiddler Unison, this is now called Fiddler Wheated, but Fiddler Unison was one of the first products that we did that, where we took some of the bourbon that we make in-house, Fiddler Soloist, and we blended it with a sourced MGP to make Fiddler Unison. Later on down the road, we kind of decided that if we wanted to keep Fiddler Soloist as a product, we had to remove our own distillate from Unison, because Unison, we were doing so much of it that was kind of cannibalizing the products that were our own. So we had to make that tough call, pull Soloist out, and Fiddler we made it even better bourbon. So I'm really proud of this one. This one has a $35 MSRP. It's 6 years old. It is 50% double oaked, and I think it is probably one of the best bourbons. At least mine and Justin's goal when making this was to make the best bourbon that we possibly could for under $40. So highly recommend Fiddler Wheated. Had a lot of good reviews on it, but Fiddler Soloist is going to be 100% our juice. This is pot distilled, made in-house, super chocolatey, a little malty, really rich and full bodied. So I recommend that one as well. But those are kind of like our two like entry levels. If you want to talk about what is ASW's thing, it's not necessarily just distilling and it's not necessarily just sourcing, where I feel like a lot of brands really focus hard on doing one thing or the other. They're like, we pride ourselves in making our own stuff and we only source until our stuff is old enough. Or people that are like non-distilling producers, they're like, no, we just source and we're trying to source the best bourbon that we possibly can on the planet and put out really good stuff. You know, like you have your Penelopes and Rare Characters that are just like sourcing excellent bourbon. For us, we wanted to do everything. Why limit ourselves? We want to make the best bourbon that we possibly could from our own distillate and source whiskey and source some of the best whiskey that we possibly could. So,
yeah, sounds like a good plan. Kind of gives you both sides of the coin, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One of the things I know, and that gets me to one of the questions we had, is what are some of the challenges though that are going on right now that you guys are seeing your challenges with that environment and with everything else, with everything that's going on right now in the whiskey and the bourbon environment? What challenges do you see and how are you guys addressing some of those?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think we are in a very interesting place as a company. because for us, we are just now getting to this place where we have a pretty, not, I wouldn't say large, but we're starting to get some national attention. And that national attention is giving us an opportunity to grow, where we're getting into more states, we're getting into more like distributors are picking us up. However, at the same time, all in all, been a whiskey slowdown where a lot of liquor stores aren't trying to take new whiskey. Like we've even noticed this like locally, where we'll come out with a new like product that is people are excited about and want it, and then we have some of our local distributors or stores say, I can't take a new SKU," and we're like, this one is the one people are waiting for, you know. But that's just part of the game, is that sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect between the producers and the consumers and the middlemen in between. So like the liquor stores, the distributors, they're kind of not causing, but they're certainly, I think a lot of the issues that we have in the whiskey industry are getting shaken up right in the middle of it with the distributors and the stores. That's not to say that all stores and distributors are bad. We have so many great distributors, Skurnick up in New York, and a lot of distributors in other states that just like work their asses off for us. And we have liquor stores like Sprayberry Bottle Shop, Whitlock Package, that are local liquor stores that are absolutely like hometown heroes. We even have like liquor stores in other states, like Winthrop Liquor and Star Liquor in Tampa, Florida, are two stores that really support us hardcore. So it's really cool to see that there are still some stores, but all in all, with like the big whiskey, I guess, slowdown, and maybe there's just too many options, right? You know, you used to go to a
Yeah.
liquor store, and we would go to a liquor store and we would see the same bottles that we saw the last two times that we went to the liquor store. So, you know, it was really easy to find something new to pick up. When there was something new, it's like, oh, I gotta have it. But now we go to the store and it's like choice paralysis, right? You see so many new
Yep.
brands that you've never seen before, and you're like, what do I buy? And then a lot of it isn't even unique. A lot of it is just the same sourced whiskey repackaged in a different package, or some of it is just underdeveloped, like not fully mature bourbon. So you buy something that's promising, like an 8-year age statement that you think is going to be just absolutely oak forward and excellent, and then it has unwelcoming acidity and stuff like that. So these are things that we take into consideration heavily. Like even with our baseline product, Fiddler, we have taste tested it so many times, and every single batch we want to make sure that it is the best thing on the shelf under $40. You know, and with our like higher end products, I mean, more recently we've actually been getting some national attention for some awards. Did you guys hear about the San Francisco awards competition by chance?
I saw them on your website and on the social media. That
Yeah,
was something I wanted to remind everybody. We've got the websites out there, as well as they're on both ASW and Fiddler are on Facebook, as well as Instagram, and I'm imagining numerous other platforms. I just know the two that I see them on a lot is on Instagram and Facebook. It seems like you have some events that you put on at the distillery for celebrate new drops and new things coming out. So,
yeah.
and also to congratulations on the awards. That's always good when you make it on that national stage. Especially San Francisco
Mhm.
is kind of like the premium spot that you want to be recognized at.
Yeah. I mean, so this is the first time that we've ever received a not only double gold for one of our sourced bourbons, but a best in class, which just really shows that we're going like hard with our source stuff too. We're not just like, we're just gonna put that in bottles to like make them like decent crowd pleasers. We want to take the best whiskey that we possibly can find and enhance it by fiddling with it, whether it's finishing it in a secondary oak cask or finishing it in a toasted barrel or adding staves of Georgia heartwood to it. So this right here, this is the product Fiddler Encore Georgia Oak that won Best in Class Bourbon in the 6 to 10-year-old category, which is a very crowded category. So we got Best in Class Bourbon. Some people are confused because the label's green. They think it's a rye. We were just kind of playing around with the finishing thing, and the green label just it stuck. And I think we may end up playing with it some more next year and maybe making it more of a grayish, greenish tone. But for now, it's staying. But this was the one that won 6 to 10-year-old. The one that won was actually only 6 years old. So since then, we've actually released 7-year-old versions of this product, and they're even better than the one that won best bourbon in the world for 6 to 10-year-old category. But this one right here,
cool.
yeah, was picked by my buddy, the Whiskey Fly. He's also picked another. We let him pick another, and that one has done well too. I think also, if I don't know, I don't want to mention another YouTube channel, but everyone knows Bruzel. Everyone knows his YouTube channel. People follow him.
Yeah.
He came and picked some of it too. So if there are people out there that follow Bruzel and do his picks and stuff, there will be some Fiddler Georgia Oaks available there on his websites or however he does picks. But that one, it wasn't actually our first best in class though. We've actually won a best in class for a craft whiskey back in 2020. So we won best craft whiskey at San Francisco World Spirits Competition, which I think is it's crazier in a way, because the difference between the 6 to 10-year-old bourbon category and the craft whiskey category is the craft whiskey category has to be made by the distillery presenting it. So ASW, we can take a sourced whiskey and enter it into any of the bourbon categories, but craft whiskey has to be our own distillate. And we won it with a whiskey called Maris Otter. So it was an American single malt, but at the time in 2020, American single malt was not a category. So because it wasn't a category, we were just almost required to enter it into craft whiskey. It was either craft whiskey or single malt. But technically, because American single malt wasn't a defined whiskey, it almost had to go into craft whiskey. But Maris Otter won best in class in 2020. Didn't get that much attention because the world fell apart in 2020. So no one really cared about what was a good whiskey at the time. Everyone was just like, oh, the world's falling apart. So we actually won best craft whiskey in the world, and then we immediately switched to making hand sanitizer pretty much full time. So it was a very interesting year. But that was really cool too to win that award.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're picking all those awards and things up. Since you're doing both in-house and sourcing and blending,
yes,
what changes and additions do you see to those two product lines coming up? Have you got some exciting new mash bill in your pot still stuff that you're working on, or is there some just awesome blend that y'all have got in the works?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with the stuff that's coming out right now, we only have we really have 2 bourbon mash bills, but for our own distillate, we have Fiddler Soloist, which has been our bourbon distillate for a long time. And then we started realizing that the trends and diversifying like mash bills and stuff like that, which, by the way, speaking of diversifying mash bills, we have released as a company over 50 different labels. I think it's 56, and over 30 of those labels are unique products that are our own distillate. So if people are like, oh, they have a lot of Fiddler stuff, but they don't have a lot of in-house stuff, it's actually opposite. We've done more like craft whiskey mash bills and different varieties of single malt and different styles of malt whiskey and rye malt whiskey and wheat malt whiskey and like all these like just crazy types of whiskey that not a lot of people know about, because most of it is such a small batch that it can't leave the state of Georgia. It's impossible to have a distributor out of state want to take a SKU that's only going to be available for a month or two. So we have that issue. But also too, like, it's a lot of just unique distillery releases. So we're constantly releasing new and unique whiskey. So we've done 30 different whiskeys, over 30 different whiskeys that are in-house distillate, with various mash bills. And I think we've done like about 24 different labels of sourced whiskey.
So there's like single barrel projects, or are they small batches, or?
Yeah, it's usually we run it for about a week on our stills. So about a week on our stills will yield about 10 barrels. So sometimes we'll do 2 weeks and it'll be about 20 barrels. So our facility at max capacity puts out 500 barrels of whiskey a year. So that's us running 50 weeks out of the year. Justin and I taking 2 weeks off for the holidays every year. But for the most part, we're making 500 barrels of whiskey a year. And when we're making 500 barrels of whiskey a year, we have like 3 or 4 months for our like core whiskey, whether that is Fiddler Soloist or Resurgence Rye. And then we usually will take 3 or 4 months out of the year where we're making one like unique new whiskey one week, one unique whiskey another week, maybe one old unique whiskey that we had a year or two ago that people have been asking for. So we try to diversify. I know that we have at least 6 new bourbon mash bills coming out in the next like 3 to 4 years, but all those are going to be super limited. So they're going to be limited runs. A lot of them are only 10 to 20 barrels. So maybe they'll be single barrels, maybe it'll be 2 or 3 batches. What it'll probably be is it'll probably be 1 or 2 batches and like 4 to 5 single barrels that we do as just unique one-offs, and maybe hold a few back to let them get older. But for the most part, we're going to let them be about 6 to 7 years old. And once they're 6 to 7 years old, start bottling them. And then if we want to sit on some, we'll sit on some. But with Justin and I, like we do have some whiskeys that are pretty old, that we have the first barrel of whiskey that we ever distilled actually in-house. I think we're going to release that for our 10-year anniversary. We have some like 9-year-old bourbon of our own distillate. Like, we still have some old stuff, so we try to keep a little bit back. But sometimes too, like, we have a barrel that we were gonna bottle recently that was like an older whiskey, and it was like almost completely empty. Like, the Georgia climate is punishing on some of these barrels.
Yeah, someone had asked about well, you mentioned Georgia. You've got a product that's Georgia Heartwood. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that is correct. Let me grab a couple of Georgia Heartwood examples. I got a lot of bottles.
Oh, I figured you have a few up there.
Yeah, no, I
got while you're doing that, I'm just curious, are you barreling in 53-gallon barrels, or are they smaller barrels, or is it a combination?
For the most part, it's 53-gallon barrels, but we do have like some products. Like, this one's a quarter cask. So Fiddler Syncopation is a product that is our own distillate. This was our second bourbon mash bill. It's 100% malted corn. So this one's like, when we're talking about unique, challenging mash bills, Fiddler Syncopation is one of those. This one was recently picked by Whiskey Fly, Bourbon Finds, and the Bourbon Whiskey Library. This was it being a quarter cask, so a 15-gallon barrel, it only yielded 30 bottles. It came out at 154 proof though. So that's, part of what we're getting in Georgia when we're using these smaller barrels. But for the most part, all of our products are 53 gallons. So like the Fiddler Georgia Heartwood, this one is a triple oak bourbon. The first oaking it's a sourced bourbon from MGP, aged on a new charred oak, usually at char 3 or char 4. And then we move it into a secondary cask that's either a char 3 or a char 3 with a light to medium toast on it. And then the third oaking is we are actually adding staves of hand charred Georgia Heartwood into the barrel. So we like take the staves and we put them into the barrel. And one of the unique things about that is the way that we season the wood from Georgia. So not only is it Georgia oak, which, by the way a tree grows in Georgia, it grows in a way that's actually very difficult to make a barrel from. You want it to grow a little slower, and you're going to get that up in a more like northern climate. But in like the south, the trees are going to grow a little quicker. So because they're growing a little quicker, they may not grow as straight. So it's actually a little bit more difficult to make a barrel out of. But you can get good staves that you can add to a barrel. So we get a lot of staves, and we're able to add those staves into the barrel. So that's the third oaking, and those are super heavily charred, like char 4, char 5, alligator char type of char, like super heavily charred. And that's like what we do for the Georgia Heartwood. Most of it's 6 to 8 years old. All of it's triple oaked at this point. We used to do it as a double oak, but currently a triple oak. And some people are like, man, that's a lot of oak. It's probably too oaky. While we have had some really oaky batches, like the Whiskey Fly just picked one recently with Bourbon Finds and Bourbon Whiskey Library also. And that one was like super oaky, but it was also well balanced. Like this one right here was picked by Bruzel. This one I don't even think is available yet, but that one is super well balanced. And we also do this Georgia Heartwood that has big green egg staves on it. And the big green egg staves are essentially, instead of charring the oak staves how we traditionally do it, we actually char them inside the grill. So inside of a big green egg grill, and it gives it a really unique flavor. Some people would think, oh, there's no way a grill would make that big of a difference. It actually surprisingly does make a difference. So if you taste this blind, you'll think these are like two completely different products, but they're essentially the same. The only difference is the way the third oaking was charred, or in this case, more like an indirect heat, like a toast. So yeah.
Not only are you making craft whiskeys, you're also making craft barrels, is what it sounds like.
So yeah, I mean, we really don't make the barrels, but we definitely do experimental oaking and experimental finishing. So
well, I mean, who else is using barrels made out of Georgia oak, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you may not be building the barrel, but you're driving that innovation.
For sure. And I think that's also too one of the things that makes what we do special with the Georgia oak, like barrels. We didn't expect it to be what it ended up being. We knew it was going to be good because we've tested it with Georgia Heartwood, and Georgia Heartwood is excellent. But having an entire barrel and doing a double oak in that, it gave us more room to have the amount of oak influence that we wanted. Because with the Georgia Heartwood, because it's already in a barrel, when you add staves to it, you do run the risk of over oaking it pretty quickly. So those are usually 2 to 3 month finishes, where the secondary oak of the Georgia oak was finished for about 2 to 3 years. And that 2 to 3 year finish was giving it the right amount of time and oak influence. So
Interesting.
We might know a little bit about grills. I think Will there. How many grills do you have, Will?
Well, I've got a couple, but we
Probably
cook
not
over
as many
open
as,
fires and all kinds of stuff.
Probably not as many as Carlos, our buddy down in Tampa, from Whiskey Corner. He's got a few grills, and he goes seriously hard whenever he's grilling something, because he'll have a live come on and show the whole process, and it's great to watch. But
I know Carlos very well, by the way. He's a great dude. He's a big
I think
supporter
he
of
was
ours.
working brand ambassador with you guys.
Yeah, I got him that gig. He has been super supportive of us, and whenever we were looking for Florida ambassadors, like immediately his name came to my head. I was like, Carlos, get Carlos. He's the guy. So yeah, he's awesome. Love Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos is great.
Yeah. By the way, I thought I should mention this. Your shirt, Demon Hunter. I grew up listening to that band and like similar bands to that. So it's very interesting now because my kids are running around going like, oh, K-pop Demon Hunter and stuff like that. I'm like, no, that's a different Demon Hunter. That's a completely different Demon Hunter. So yeah, it's funny.
We got
Hold
Christmas
on.
Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down
Uh-oh.
Santa Claus Lane. Dixon and
We may have a
Blitzen and
special
all
guest.
his reindeer pulling on the rein.
Who do we got?
Can't see him. Where's he at?
Where's
There
he
he
at?
is.
There he is.
Hey, hey, everyone!
How's it
Hey,
going?
Merry
Santa Claus.
Christmas! Hey,
Merry
hello,
Christmas to
hello,
you.
hello, Whit. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I've done really good this
So-
year.
Yeah, I know
Really
you have. I
good.
know you have. I was thinking about bringing you a new whiskey thief from a Vendome, but um, I've got to see if the elves can make one first.
All right, that sounds great.
So Santa, have you been out running the traps tonight, checking
I'm
on
doing.
all the girls and boys?
Oh, I think he had a bed sale spot there for a moment.
I've been visiting all day and all night. Well,
Yeah.
you
Anything?
know, excuse me, what happens when you're out and about nowhere?
Well, yeah, you get up there in the upper levels, and
What's he got there? He's
Hello,
got
are
something
you
to drink.
there?
we're here.
We're
We
here.
thought
You
were
must be in a
drinking
bad
there
spot.
on the road, Santa.
Well, I'm having to go all over, and so I'm practicing tonight by being out in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
Ah,
the cell
got it.
service tells us.
Understand.
Yep. Hmm.
Well, you going to be able to join us a little bit later on too?
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe so. Just kick me off, and I'll try to get back when I get into a better area. Okay, guys.
Okay.
All right. Drive safely with that sleigh there.
Yeah, see you, Santa.
See, there's something you didn't expect. I mean,
No, that was a surprise.
we got live Santa, and he's not driving this. He's not driving the correct sleigh, boys and girls. He should be driving his new sleigh that the elves built for him.
Let's see
And I'm
there.
gonna show this to you guys, and I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit, but there we
Oh,
go.
look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Badass.
what he's decided is he can get there quicker without all them reindeer because he's realized the magic was in their antlers.
Yeah.
So when they fell out this year, he just collected them all up, and that's what he's using for propulsion of the Old St. Nick Bourbon Distillery bourbon barrel
Yeah.
as he flies around all over the world, and he doesn't have to deal with those reindeer that have all those issues at times. Let's put it that way.
So that's where the
they
very
can be a
old
little
Saint
bit
Nick comes from.
divas. They can be divas a little bit, but all
Very
right.
cool.
Well, we had to jump and see Santa there for a second. He'll probably be back on
Oh,
again later on, boys and girls.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about a lot of the ASW Fiddler, products and things like that. And I know this is hard when you work for a company. Do you have a favorite?
So when I first started at ASW, Tire Fire was one of the ones that just I gravitated towards. So my history is I actually come from a coffee background. I spent a decade in the coffee industry. I competed in the United States Barista Championships. I did like all this super nerdy coffee stuff. And when I first started working at ASW, my favorite whiskey at the time was Lafroig 10. So I was a big peat head. Like I love peaty Scotch. Like I wanted my whiskey to taste like asphalt and Band-Aids. And Tire Fire really sang to me because that's pretty much exactly what it is. This is sourced barley, but distilled in Georgia. So we actually got the barley from Scotland. So it's peated in Scotland. And we have that Scottish peat malt that we distill traditionally on pot stills, but here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it makes just like a really smoky, like really like sweet with the new oak. So it's like instead of used barrels, we used brand new charred oak casks, and Tire Fire was my favorite at first. As I learned more about whiskey, I really did start because at first when I wasn't as much of a bourbon guy, you have people that are on like one side or the other. Now I'm a bourbon guy. Now, like if I look in my whiskey cabinet, it's probably 85 to 90% bourbon and American whiskey. But it used to be the other way around. It used to be like super heavy on the Scotch, super heavy on the single malt. And part of that may be like me just trying to learn and understand American whiskey better so I can make better American whiskey and better American style whiskey. But part of it too is I think my palate is just growing a little bit. Not saying that it's growing in a way that bourbon is more sophisticated, but I think it's because I spent so much time in single malt. It's like now I'm spending time in American whiskey and bourbon and like that new oak and just looking for the nuances, because when we're talking about single malt, the differences are like pretty extreme. But when we're talking about bourbon, a lot of the bourbon differences are a little more nuanced, which I really appreciate now. So I think the Soloist is my favorite. So this is our own distillate, pot distilled bourbon, cast strength Soloist. Is this one cast strength? That one is cast strength. This batch that we recently did, which is available distillery only. Come by the distillery, grab a bottle while you still can. It is just fantastic. It's like super oaky and chocolatey and like a little bit of a like mocha like thing going on with like chocolate and coffee. That one's really good. So I do love Soloist.
Sounds excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the distillery, is that the one on 199 Armor Drive?
Yes. So we have
Okay.
4 locations, but that's the main location where all of our stuff is distilled and where I work most of the time. So yeah, come on
I
by
saw
there.
the 3 that were listed on the website, and with the distillery being the main location. But it seems like you've got a lot of channels to get that information out there, go that route, do those type of things. Do you guys work with any bars that you have locally there that maybe make specialty drinks utilizing your products?
Yeah. I mean, the Unsucky group just did a barrel pick with us recently, and they are going to be doing a lot of like unique cocktails and stuff. The Cigar Cellar, which is up in Kennesaw, Georgia, is a local bar that has one of our picks as well, and they do some like really cool things, like not only with cigars, but with bourbon and whiskey too. They do these incredible Tuesday night pour deals where it's like a $10 pour every Tuesday night, and it's usually like some like allocated rare whiskey. Like they've done like Old Fitzgerald and stuff like that for like $10 pours. So I highly recommend both of those spots. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other bars too. I feel like I'm trying to think of like one in particular that does like something really special. I know we've done some stuff before with Hamp and Harry's in Marietta, which is my hometown, and those guys. But yeah, I mean, a lot of bars carry our products and do unique stuff with it. So super excited about that. I'm not so much of a mixologist, like I prefer most all of my whiskey neat, but I have had some cocktails that have been made with our stuff that's been blowing me away.
Yeah, we had a cocktail tonight, and that I had that I thought was amazing, and it had a peated bourbon as part of the recipe, as well as a sherry cask bourbon.
Nice.
And then it incorporated some bitters and a honeycomb. And the combination of those flavors was amazing. We've got a local distillery here, Rocktown, right in the middle of Little Rock, and the bar they have is spectacular. They've got a full-time mixologist. They change their menu up, do those type of things. So it's always fun when you can turn, the alcohols you like into, or the bourbons and the scotches into a cocktail that everybody can enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of questions from the comments. Kenneth had asked earlier, Tupelo Runner, he'd asked earlier about chin music, and he also wants to know when you're getting distribution to Mississippi.
Yeah. Two really good questions. Let's start with chin music. That might be one of the bottles that I don't have. So Chin Music started as a collaboration that we do with the Atlanta Braves. So we actually have our second distillery located at the Battery, which is where the Braves play. It's at the Braves Stadium. So there's a little park with some like restaurants and stuff, and they let us build a distillery there. One of my buddies, Luke Jackson, used to be a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, and him and I bonded over some bourbon. So when we were first starting tossing around this idea, he was super supportive, came to the distillery, wanted to like chat some ideas and stuff. But really, it was just us trying to do something that could really be like a hometown hero type of thing, where it's like, hey, we are big fans of the Atlanta Braves, and you know, they like us as well. And with a lot of people, whenever they do a kind of like sports or gimmicky thing, like they'll just kind of use the gimmick as a way to sell bad whiskey. We did the opposite. We put some of our best whiskey that we possibly had into that, and then we did unique finishes, like charred some baseball bats. So we got Marucci to give us some unfinished maple baseball bats that we had like charred and put in there, which sounds like a gimmick, but doing that maple finish, like a maple stave finish, was like amazing, the flavors we got from it. So Chin Music right now, I think we have an eight-year bourbon and an 8-year rye that are finished on the maple wood staves, on the maple baseball bats, and that's some of our best bourbon that we have. It's freaking delicious.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What about his second question about distributing to Mississippi?
Man, I do these things all the time, and I always am like, I'm gonna be so prepared for this. I'm gonna have all the answers to all the questions. But like when it comes to distribution, I'm kind of lost in the wind. You know, I'm just the guy that makes it, and I can tell cool stories, and we can talk about how it tastes. But I do know that we are rapidly expanding, and we have distributors that are hitting us up all the time. The best thing that anyone can do is go to their local liquor store and ask for our products by name. If you do that, they will call their distributor. And if their distributor gets 2 or 3 phone calls saying, hey, we have people looking for Fiddler bourbon, they will reach out to us. Because at this point, especially with the industry looking the way that it is, if we come in trying to pitch our products to new distributors, a lot of them aren't taking new products. They're just trying to you know, make money off the products they already have. They're not taking new SKUs. They don't want to put extra work into something if they already have something going good with Sazerac. But if they get people asking for it, that's when we'll have that doorway open. So anyone that wants to get Fiddler and ASW products in your own state, the best thing you could possibly do is go into your local liquor store, especially the ones that are like super like bourbon and whiskey focused. Talk to them, say like, hey, do you guys have Fiddler bourbon? Most likely they'll say no. Sometimes they'll say yes. There's actually been a few states that I didn't know we were in, and turns out we were in them. So maybe there is someone in Mississippi that has it, but I don't think we are. I don't think we are there yet.
There's one place in Mississippi that does.
Okay,
I
Steve.
believe it's High Cotton.
Okay.
High Cotton had a single barrel that I think they did with you guys, and that might have been how they were able to get it into the state in Mississippi. I know you guys are available on some of the online distribution channels as well.
Yeah.
You can. Do you have the list of those, or we have?
Oh yeah, yeah, we do. We have like Seal Box. We have Shared Pour, which a lot of those guys have some like really good picks from us as well. Bottle Nexus, which I think if you like go to aswdistillery.com, we have like a site that directly ships like to most states right now. So that is a pretty cool tool to use. But yeah, those would be the ones I would look for. Which Bottle Nexus, I know a few other people use it too, like my buddy Shane Sullivan. He has Rock's Bourbon Review. He has some of our products on there as well on his Bottle Nexus. But yeah, Those are good ways to just get our products if you don't have it in your local liquor stores, which I do recommend. Local liquor store, support those guys, talk to
Yeah.
those guys. I mean, that's one of the best things we can do for the industry is like form those communities, get people excited again, like get bourbon groups meeting, like get people talking like we're doing now. Like any
Hmm.
stuff like that is just super helpful, especially for us little guys and for like the industry as a whole. So, I mean, thankfully, ASW Fiddler, we're all growing and we're seeing the growth and we're feeling the growing pains in a good way, where a lot of other places are taking hits. So we're definitely feeling the growth, which is a good thing and makes me excited. And I think makes a lot of other people excited too. So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn on our banner and we'll talk about this. Will get some people, it gives them something to do while we're doing this. We got a bottle giveaway tonight. And all you got to do is type in hashtag ASW for tonight's giveaway. And
nice.
I'll explain that to you guys in a little bit here, but wanted to bring that up and get people start putting things in to the system. Hold on, let me get it collecting here correctly. Um,
Well, while you're doing that, Roger, I'll ask another question.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
So, I mean, we just kind of jumped right into talking about Fiddler and the whiskey and the distillery, and we didn't really introduce you very well. So, talk a little bit about how long you've been in the bourbon industry and what your current role is at ASW, and
Yeah.
what's your favorite thing about being in the industry.
Yeah, so great questions. So for me, I got my start at ASW on the bottling line as a volunteer. Like I said, I was in the coffee industry. I'd spent a decade in the coffee industry. I was working for a coffee company that was actually right down the street, still is right down the street from the distillery. And I would go over to the distillery on my lunch breaks. And after doing shifts on coffee, I'd go bottle whiskey for an hour or two, and they would give me a bottle of whiskey as like my payment. So I was a volunteer, didn't work for anything but whiskey, and I was able to start tasting different things and get more excited about whiskey. I'd already had like a palate that was developing like through coffee, through wine, through craft beer, and whiskey was kind of that final frontier that I was super interested in, but it was also one of those things that I already was in all those other ones, and the whiskey was like the more expensive one. So I was kind of like afraid to dip into it, because I know how those it becomes a money pit. Like it's a hobby that becomes a money pit. But when I found this gateway to get into it for free, then I was just like, I went in head first. I was like, man, this stuff is cool. I asked Justin, the master distiller, a lot of questions, and he pretty much said, "Yo, dude, the guy that makes the whiskey mash here, he's leaving to make a brewery, and I could hire someone that's a brewer that knows how to make beer, and I could teach them how to make whiskey mash pretty easily. But chances are I might not like them that much, and I like you. So if you want to come work with me, I'll teach you how to make whiskey." So that
There you
was
go.
yeah, that was about 7 years ago. So I've been there for 7 years. Started as a volunteer, and now I'm a distiller. So it went from volunteer on the bottling line to packaging manager, to brewer, which I was just making whiskey mash, and then to assistant distiller, and now I'm distiller. So I've been there for 7 years, got to do a lot of different things. But being distiller is really cool, not only just for the title of it, but because of who Justin is and the way he views whiskey making. He's extremely secretive. So he has not taught anybody how to make whiskey the way that he makes it. Like even the owners of ASW, he didn't teach them how to make whiskey. So Jim and Charlie had no idea how to make whiskey the way that Justin made it. If Justin was to die, he taught them how to make whiskey in general. Like this is how you make a mash. This is how you distill. This is how you make
Mhm.
whiskey in general, but I am not going to show you the way that I make whiskey because that's a secret and it's special to me. So anything that you're tasting that's our own distillate has been a secret style of distillation that he's been working on for 25 years that he's never taught anyone except me. So him and I are the only two people that know how to make whiskey the way that we make it. It's like not um, It's interesting because like a lot of it follows the same rules as standard whiskey making and pot style distillation, but there's like a few bits of sauce here and there that are just like really unique and really just like are challenging. That after I understood whiskey making as a whole, and I started seeing the way that he made whiskey, and he taught me the way that he made whiskey. I was like, oh wow, you wouldn't think to do it that way. So that's part of the cool things when you're getting our distillate and tasting our distillate. Uh, I can almost guarantee that there's like no one on the planet making whiskey the way that we make it. So super exciting with that. But I mean, yeah, for me personally, like that's my story in whiskey. I'm also just like a big time hobbyist. I like to skateboard. So skateboarding is probably my number one hobby. I've been doing that longer than I've been doing anything. So I've been skateboarding for like, I think almost 27 years now. Um, I like to make music. I'm in a band. We play rock music. I like to paint. So I do like oil paintings and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a big nerd, so I like to do a bunch of like nerdy shit too. So
Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
going to ask about the instruments. That was the next question. Seeing all the instruments on the wall, can you play them all? And is the handsaw for when you get mad at them so you can cut them up?
yeah, that's a good question. I'll play most of the guitars. The banjo, I can play a tiny bit. I only know like two or three songs on it. Justin actually taught me how to do that. The cello is actually my fiance's, so she is was really good. She's actually a very good fiddler too. So Justin, our master distiller, plays the fiddle like no one else's business, and so does my fiance. So she's really good fiddler. I don't play the fiddle, so I would like to, but the cello's hers. The saw, that's actually a singing saw. So that's an instrument that you would play. You actually will hear it in a lot of like oldies music. So there's like a almost like a ghostly sound.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
usually that's a saw. So that's a singing saw.
Okay.
Yep.
That's very interesting. Yeah. Not what I expected. Now that you say that, though, that kind of eerie, otherworldly, kind of wavering sound that you hear in a lot of those songs makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I would
Well,
I
I
would
think
offer to play it, but I'm really not good at the singing saw.
That's okay.
I think we've got somebody backstage that might want to ask another question.
Sure.
We'll
Yeah.
bring them on.
What do we got?
Step
Hey, he's
on.
back. He's back.
Hey, hold on. Let me change this positioning of
I
the
hope he has
phone.
better cell
Oh,
phone service now.
Here. I'm closer to a town. I'm coming into a town now. So, one thing I would like to ask is, and you may have just answered the question, but is that how you came up with the name Fiddler? Is because of the master distiller was a fiddler?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It is twofold. It is partially that our master distiller is an accomplished fiddler, and partially that we didn't want to just bottle sourced bourbon, but we wanted to fiddle with the bourbon that we sourced. So it's a way of saying that, hey, we do something to almost every single sourced bourbon that we have. And the way that we do it highlights an instrument that our master distiller is fantastic at. So I definitely highly recommend going to check out any. I think there's a little bit of him playing the fiddle in Bruzel's video. He has a Instagram and a YouTube channel called Barrel Sniffer. So go check out Barrel Sniffer on YouTube, and you can see him playing the fiddle. He's excellent at it. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Uh,
well, any more questions, Santa?
yes, actually, I do have one.
Oh boy,
Uh, I like the way that a lot of your stuff. What's wrong?
nothing. You're
Did you
good.
not
We're
hear
good.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
We're
Uh,
good. You came back.
I like how a lot of your products are named after Georgia. Have you ever thought about doing a "The Devil Went Down to Georgia" product?
So a lot of people actually will use that as like a tater sticker on some of our Georgia Heartwoods. We've seen several people do a Devil Went Down to Georgia, or like that type of like golden fiddle spin off on it. So people have used it as stickers. We haven't really considered doing a whole product around it. But I think it'd be nice to potentially do a partner with Charlie Daniels and do something like that. I don't know. I'm open
I
to it.
think that would be.
'Cause-
I think that would be neat since you are fiddler, and
Yeah.
you know the devil was a fiddler. That may be something like a hazmat product or something.
Yeah, that could be cool.
You know.
That's not a bad
yeah, his
idea.
estate might be willing to work with you on it. So
There we go.
Yeah, and if you're using baseball bats uh, as a aging product, maybe you could take an old fiddle and char it up and put it in the batch.
That's possible. Yeah, you have
I
to
mean,
consider the wood finish and stuff on it.
Yeah, I don't know about the
You
lacquer
know,
and
yeah.
stuff that's on
the
there.
lacquer might not help
Well,
out.
Yeah.
hey, I have personally tasted bourbons that taste like it did have lacquer in it already. So,
Is that some of the gifts that were left for Santa out with along with the cookies
oh
and bad bourbon?
yes. I'm trying to get everybody to quit leaving me milk and leave me eggnog. That's what I'm trying this year.
There we go. There
You
we
know,
go.
So
get a little
Another-
bourbon
Well,
in my
my
life.
kids will leave some. My kids will leave out some whiskey for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Leave a bottle. I'll leave gifts and I'll take a bottle back to the North Pole. How about that?
It's going right under the tree.
All right, folks.
So-
It's good to see all of you, Whit. I'm glad I got to meet you here finally online.
Yeah.
So, and Roger, what kind of bottle are you giving away tonight? I'm just curious.
Well, we're doing the Jim Beam Winter Reserve. We thought it kind of
Okay.
it works well with the time of year, and it's a bottle that they only produce here in the last part of it. We'll hopefully have when we do our 500 subscriber giveaway. We might have some other bottles that we might have available then, maybe some ASW products and some other products from some of our guests. So
That's
Yep.
a good
we're
idea.
going to work on that and have those available
Sounds
when we
good.
have our 500 subscriber and or our New Year's show,
Oh yes, I forgot about the New Year's show.
the marathon.
I think my other buddy Craig will be on that show.
Yeah, yep, I think you're right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
only believe I'm going to be on one more time between now and Christmas. So, you know, I'm very busy. I'm a very busy man right now.
Well, Santa, I think we've got to let Whit go here because he's got to
Yeah.
help some young ones with some homework and stuff.
Oh my
Indeed.
goodness.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Well,
down
good to
for.
see you.
Good to
We'll
meet
talk
you
to you
too.
later, Santa.
See you,
Merry
Santa.
Christmas, everyone. 13 more nights, guys. It'll be Christmas
13.
Eve.
All right,
Yeah.
we're ready for it.
Can we get one last question in? Tupelo
Yeah.
Runner asked about the Fiddle Antique Bourbon.
Yes, antique bourbon. I have one of those right here. So, Fiddler Antique is actually it's one of my favorite products because we've had some phenomenal antique barrels. Also, too, it was the first product that we ever did, which we just started it in 2025. That is kind of an unfiddled fiddler. So every single fiddler line up until antique has been we did something to it. We fiddled with it in some way, shape, or form, whether it was unique finishing or blending it with our own distillate. But Fiddler Antique was one of those things that we got whiskey from MGP. We tasted it and we were like, oh, I can't fiddle with that. It'll mess it up. Like at some
Mhm.
point, like it's almost just as hard to say like, oh, we're gonna do all these things to this whiskey and make sure that's unique and special. But sometimes it's even harder to say, you know what, we might catch some backlash for this, but this does not need to be fiddled with. And if it is fiddled with, it could potentially ruin the whiskey. There's like some really nice kind of like dusty, old, like antique tasting notes on this product that if you move it into a secondary oak cask, just completely annihilate those flavors, and it replaces it with like a more freshy new oak. While it can be more oaky and more like sweet, it takes away some of the stuff that makes a bourbon like that special. So it has a minimum age to be antique. It has to be at least 8 years old. But we've released some that are up to 9 years now. I think we'll have some 10-year-old antique next year, maybe even older. But Fiddler Antique is our only product that is an unfiddled fiddler. So yeah, super good one.
Nice.
Yeah. Any last ones? If you got one more, I'm happy to say one more thing real quick before I dip. But yeah.
No, I think Tupelo is just saying on the in the chat that one of the best that's out there available online, if you can get it, is Antique
Yeah.
and or the Encore, any of the Encore
Yeah.
products.
He,
So
Yeah.
he's asking which one should he buy? What is the best out of those?
That's a good question. So the Fiddler Antique is absolutely awesome. Justin and I had to sift through like all the barrels that we get essentially from MGP, and we went through and we picked out the best of the best. So those are the best of the best single barrels. We've only done them as single barrels, and they are incredible. We don't fiddle with them, so they're not going to be as oaky as like the Georgia Heartwood. So if you're looking for an oak bomb, Georgia Heartwood's the way to go. If you're looking for like a really unique finish, Fiddler Encore is the way to go. So the Fiddler Encore Georgia Oak is the one that won best bourbon in the world for 6 to 10-year-old category. But we also have various finishes in the Encore line. So Fiddler Encore just essentially means like Fiddler finished, and that the finishes that we do on it, we first of all, we don't try to like cover up like young whiskey with a finish. We take a fully aged like 6 to 7-year-old bourbon that has like a lot of balance in oak, and then we highlight those flavors with a finishing cask. So we're never trying to cover up anything. Fiddler Encore is really good for that too. Fiddler Soloist and Fiddler Toasted, both of those, whether it's the toasted bourbon or the toasted rye, those are excellent. And Soloist, being our own distillate, is my personal favorite. So really, any of those you can't go wrong. If I was to point you towards one, I would say that most of the antiques are excellent, but the Fiddler Toasted is really excellent too, and it's a better MSRP. So you're getting almost just as old whiskey, but it's finished as secondary cask, and the MSRP is a little bit lower on that one. So I think the toasted bourbon has an MSRP of I think it's $69.99. Also, I designed it, so I'm a little partial towards it since it's my design.
there you go.
Nice.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any closing thoughts or anything you want to just throw out there before you step out for the night?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thank you for all the awesome questions. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the Bourbon Legends. If you would like to see more of what I'm doing, I am trying to be a little more active on social media with the bourbon community and stuff. So my Instagram is Whitski. So I think it's _Whitski, spelt the that way.
Yeah.
However Whitski spelt, but yeah. _Whitski_. But yeah, connect with me if you're trying to chat about whiskey. You have any questions? I'm trying to be on Discord and like Facebook and stuff. Like, send me a DM. We'll talk about it. I'm happy to chat with anyone about this stuff. I love it. I love the community built around it. I love the people in whiskey. So yeah, come give me a chat. Shoot me a DM. And really appreciate you guys having me on. Good luck with your giveaways. Let's put ASW on a giveaway real soon. So
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that once we get some of those bottles directed this way, and UPS slows down a little bit with their holiday rush, and
yeah,
hopefully we'll get all those things caught up. But hey, I really appreciate your time tonight. I know you got some young kids to work with on some homework and put to bed and get it all tucked in there. We appreciate your time. Let you guys know the rest of our group we are not done. We're going to keep going. We got some more things to go through. So hang tight. But again, wanted to say goodnight and thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you guys
thank
so
you.
much. Cheers. You have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Roger, what's next?
All right. Well, let's see if we can jump into this. This is important because we are in the spirit of Christmas and everybody is out there looking for something. I know there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So in our group, pretty diverse group, if you guys can put out there into the chat, what is that unicorn bottle that you're looking for this Christmas that you want somebody to give to you,
Oh.
or you're trying to find, or you're trying to get, whatever? Put it in the list. Put it in there because you remember Santa does what is watching, and he
Mhm.
is one of our people that watch our show. So you never know, he might be able to help get you that bottle. So put some of those in there for us so we know what we're looking for, and we might pass it on to Santa and see if he can get that for you.
Yeah. Let's. What's your Donna says A. Smith Bowman.
Yep, I kind of figured that, and I'd like to get one of the stags for this year that people think would be good. I know they just released 25D
Yeah, that's
here
what
in
Martin Cox
Arkansas.
is looking for. Martin Cox is looking for 25B.
25B. Well, they just released
Yep.
D here in Arkansas. All of a sudden, we got 4 batches of them within the last 2 months. So
Yeah.
there's some other ones. If there is, please put them in the chat. We'll discuss them as we go along, as we jump through this. But first thing we've got breaking bourbon news.
Breaking bourbon news.
Breaking bourbon news. There's all kinds of things going on out there. We'll jump into the biggest thing that's going on is I think everybody sees these in their stores.
Mhm.
The gift boxes.
Oh yeah.
And I got to tell you, I think some of them are really good, and they're things for everybody to keep an eye on because once it gets after Christmas, some of the stores put these on clearance. So you can
That's
pick
right.
these things up for a lesser price, and you pick up a lot of tchotchkes with it, glasses.
A lot of
Uh,
like this wild turkey that I got years ago in a gift set.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, those gift sets are great. I mean, and especially when they go on clearance or after the season, people put them on sales. Usually, you're getting the whole gift set for even less than the bottle by itself cost. So it's a great value.
Yeah, it's the thing to check your local stores. It's something they'll have out there. And a lot of times it's amazing. Like the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond locally was cheaper in the gift set than it was by the bottle.
Yes, that's right. We saw that in the store just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like,
Yep.
okay,
And
all right, guys.
you get the Heaven Hill bottled and bond, and you get a Glencairn to go with it, and it's cheaper than just the bottle by itself.
And you're going to have a party at the house, and if you want to have a bullet bourbon, well, get the coffee mug along with the bullet bourbon, and there you go.
You might as well do it.
It's a win-win. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Maybe
what?
that some of the gifts, like Tupelo Runners looking for a King of Kentucky, a WLW GTS. Jeff Castle's looking for a King of Kentucky. Kevin's saying any Detling. Keith P. He says he wears a size tanager. So hopefully Santa can help these people out. JRC says WLW or Pappy. So maybe when Santa sees this, he'll find a gift set that has one of those bottles in it and maybe an extra little trinket too.
Yeah, I know many folks were hunting the tanager today, unexpectedly hunted the tanager today because it wasn't supposed to be released until tomorrow.
Yeah.
But most of the Total Wines, those guys can't read, so they released it this morning. So in St. Louis, they had cases of it sitting and they probably sold through within an hour of the store opening.
Yeah, so that's like a bird of some description, right? Do you hunt those with a shotgun or a rifle?
Well, actually, you're not supposed. Ernest stayed up all night to get his tanager.
Huh.
So, you know, I guess you have to sleep outside all night and wake up early in the morning and sneak up on it
Okay.
and grab it as it's at the distillery and run off with it and take off back here to, take off back to Mississippi. So it
Or
doesn't know its way
Memphis or
back home.
wherever. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, and
What's
of
next?
course, Tupelo runner. Everything uses a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Multi-purpose tool.
Well, our other exciting news, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but Weller Antique 107 has been added to Buffalo Trace's regular rotation in the distillery showroom. It's at MSRP. Right at Thanksgiving, I think they had it out there for 4 days in a row at $49.95.
Yep. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I know there's everybody on here loves it. But what
Since
makes
we're
it
talking
nice
about it,
is, yeah,
since we're talking
talking
about
about
it, I
it.
think I'll have a little bit of it.
Oh, well,
I'll have a little pour of
little
Weller
pull of Weller, yeah. Yeah, well,
107
he's
there.
doing that to celebrate our friends at the distillery for making it available on a regular release. It'll be a weekly
That's right.
release there. It so just like you get Blanton's, Elijah, the E.H. Taylor, the Eagle Rare, you're going to get Antique 107. And what I've heard through a little bird is this isn't the only one that will be added at times to to the regular rotation. One of those will be the Eagle Rare 12 coming into next year as they have more bottles available.
Very nice.
So it's a interesting process that we got going on, but I think it'll be fun. Hold on, let me make sure we still have our ticker going out there. So if you haven't put in hashtag ASW for tonight's giveaway, which is going to be a bottle of Jim Beam Winter Reserve. We're doing that. We've got a few bottles. Fortunate enough to get some bottles to give away during the shows during the week. We're trying to get some other bottles that we can give away during um, the 500
500,
subscriber and the
500
New Year's show.
subscribers. Yep.
Yep. Well, our
And I will
next
say
story,
that
what?
winter reserve is really good. I mean, if you see it, pick a bottle up. Don't overlook it. You know, it's not super expensive or anything, but it's a really good bottle.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yep.
I had it last year and I went through the whole bottle before the end of the holiday and it wasn't available anymore. So,
Well, it's good enough that I keep a bottle at home and I keep a bottle at my camp. So,
well, there's a good thing.
yep.
Well, the other thing I wanted to bring up tonight is one of our guests that we had on earlier this year, Jay Reiger, has a new rye whiskey that's come out. Can you see
Yeah.
that one
So,
there, Will?
yeah. It's a straight rye distilled by Jay Reiger. 96% rye, 4% malted barley. So they're almost 95.5, but just not quite. A little bit different there. So I would be interested in trying this. You know, I enjoy a lot of ryes, and it's very interesting to me how so much different ryes can taste. You know, but this is going to be a 4-year rye aged in new oak barrels in Kansas City. So if you get a chance, try it out.
All right, and now the next new bottle that came out, and I think it hit our markets around here. If you are a duck hunter, apparently they have a bourbon made for you. It's a Duck Club bourbon, 92 proof. It's a four grain blend of 5 to 6 year old straight bourbon with a Kentucky mash bill, multiple mash bills blended together. And then there's a couple other expressions they have available in there as well. One of them called high brass, which I can remember the term, couldn't exactly. And one of our uh, listeners, Donna, told me it's high brass. It was the preferred shot that was used when you were duck hunting back in the day.
Yeah.
So
hmm
not sure
Typically,
that's
typically
used that
has a little
much
more.
anymore, but
Typically has a little more powers though, so that makes sense. Since this 110 proof product, it's got a little more kick than the standard load, the standard Duck Club bourbon does.
yep.
I saw this when Wednesday before Thanksgiving when we all met up. They had some of this at our local store sitting on the shelf in there. I don't know if you saw it while we were there, but
Yeah, I did. I did. I did.
yeah,
And it's kind of interesting to see um, what they've got coming out. And to me, I thought it was a little bit of a game, but again, it's a source product put together, blended, the 92 proof, but then the 110 proof, the high brass. That sounds interesting. I might have to give it a try, especially the price, $29 and $39.
I mean, you know, if nothing else, you can. If it's not any good, you can figure something out. I mean,
Yeah, make a mixed drink out of it, like
make a mix.
we do
Yeah,
with everything.
give it to your friends you don't like or something. You know.
Yeah, donate it to the bottle share.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
well, our next product that's coming out, we got information on is Old Forester. And again, being a little bit late on this because it was last Friday, but they did a repeal day with a limited edition Prohibition era still proof bourbon inspired by the brand's 100-day distilling holiday during Prohibition. The 130 proof release, and you got that right, boys and girls,
130.
130 proof release. It
Nice.
underscores the Old Forester's distinction as the only U.S. distillery to remain continuously owned and in operation before, during, and after Prohibition. So I think the product is still available at the distillery or will be released at various times throughout the year. But has anybody in our group had that yet or tasted any of it?
I mean, I haven't seen many of those 117 series bottles anyway, and I sure haven't seen this one. Uh, I would be interested in trying one of those at some point.
Yeah, I think it'd be a fun one to have.
Yep. I think that's interesting. As you were reading that, you were talking about being the only U.S. distillery to remain continuously owned in operation before, during, and after Prohibition. And I know Buffalo Trace always talks about, producing through Buffalo Trace, or through Prohibition, but they're not haven't been owned by the same company the entire time.
No, the
So
Brown
that's
Foreman.
the pretty amazing feat, to survive that long.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in our group, I know a lot of them have been picking up the uh, Old Forester single barrel 100 proof, the black label single
hmm
barrels, which have been very popular, and a lot of people have been going after those. Let's see. One more story we've got, and this is from our friends at Wilderness Trail, which should have been named Wilderness Trace, but we'll leave that one alone because
Yeah, there was
Buffalo,
some copyright issues or
yeah,
something.
Buffalo
Yeah,
Trace
it's
trying to
not the
sue him,
same. Not the
not
same.
use his
Yeah,
yeast, but hey.
yeah.
That being said, they're going to be releasing a small batch rye, and again, if you didn't know, they do rye a lot different than anyone else, and I know a lot of people haven't. If you haven't tried it, go somewhere, get a friend that's got a bottle. I've got a couple of bottles. If you guys need it, want to a little bit of Wilderness Trail rye whiskey. It's just a unique blend, and it's really, really, really good.
Yeah. When we
So,
were
and
there back in October, I tried several different. I did a flight there at Wilderness Trail, and I found that I'm not really their biggest fan. I just there's just something about their product that just doesn't hit my palate right. However, they did have some 6-year rye there that I got to try, and the rye to me was the best thing they have. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I would encourage anybody, especially if you like rye to begin with, to try this Wilderness Trail rye out and see what you think. Um,
Yeah, the sweet mash, they do a sweet mash process, which means basically they start from scratch with each individual batch. And um, and partly that's done because the owners of the distillery own Firm Solutions, which sells yeast. So
mhm.
they, they wanted to play with the various yeasts that they could put into those bottles, and that's what makes them a little bit more unique.
Yeah,
Okay, well, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and apparently, from what I understand, there was a meeting today, earlier today, and I don't know if he's in here or not, but apparently Mike Brock is moved down to Arkansas. Did you
I
hear
mean,
this?
I saw that him and Santa were having a discussion today.
Yeah, they got together today, and there he is. I mean,
There's Mike Brock and Santa.
Mike and Brock and Santa in Arkansas. I
You
don't
know
know how
that
this occurred.
I
This
have
is
not seen Mike on the stream tonight. I haven't seen him on the show tonight in the comments. I wonder if they don't have internet where he's staying at right now in the home.
Yeah, I think at the home they've taken his internet away, and he can't get and enjoy us. And he
But
did
yeah,
clean up his beard a little bit, and
he did trim
kind
up
of
a little
gets.
bit. Yep. Yep.
But he's he's hanging out there, and he's loving the. Uh, Donna asked which one is
Which
which.
one is which? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Santa's the one in the red suit with the green gloves.
well, apparently this is going to be their Christmas card that they're going to give out to everybody. So
I
if
think
you
that'd be
guys
great.
have your own Christmas card that you want to send to us, please don't hesitate to send it and grab it and send it to us. We'd love to see your Christmas cards. We'll post them on the show.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think that'd be awesome.
you know, will get you the email address to be able to send it if you can send it electronically or whatever you want to do, and we'll go from there. So this is probably more of like where Santa's at right now. What do you
Yeah,
think?
North Pole spirits only or Santa's only bar. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he
I
might
can
be
think
there.
so. Yeah, there was a
Well,
good
I know we
question in the
got some.
Discord. Good question in the Discord today about what Santa's going to be doing the day after Christmas. What's he going to be doing then? I figure he's going to be in the Bahamas, chest deep in a pool, drinking tiki drinks. But a lot of interesting things going on in the Discord on that question today.
Well, I think he's going to be sleeping maybe a few days.
Yeah.
That's
Mike
something he's
Fortner,
kind of missed on.
that's terrible,
Well,
Mike.
I know we've got our people out there that are wanting this to get through this drawing. It's for a uh, Jim Beam Winter Reserve bottle. Everyone, please be patient with me as I try to get this to connect, because again, the only way to get it to connect is while it's live. So it looks like we've got about 14 entries in the drawing. So I'll give you guys about 30 more seconds to put some names in the drawing. And I'm going to attempt to share the page. Will you let me know when you're able to see it? Okay.
Okay, I will. I'll talk about Donna asked about the Knob Creek 10-year rye. So I'll talk about that while you're working on that. I actually poured just a little bit of this Knob Creek 10-year rye here in this other Glen. And if I remember correctly, this is not like a 95.5 rye or anything like that. It's more of a bourbon drinker's rye. So it's probably just barely rye. I don't see a mash bill on the bottle anywhere. But to me, it drinks a lot more like a bourbon than a rye. You get some of the rye notes on the nose. You get a little bit of that not really mowed grass, but you get a little bit of a hayfield type, springtime type on the nose.
Do you
Maybe a
see it yet?
little. I don't see it yet. Nope.
Okay, well, this is not going to work. So,
Hey, Bourbon Nerd, how you doing? But this rye, you kind of get a little bit of like a green fruit on the nose too. Um, on the palate, it's just pretty nice and sweet, almost kind of a bourbon sweetness on the front end, and then you kind of get into that rye, a little bit of rye spiciness, and you get some of that hay, some of that grassy on the back end. But it's not a 95.5 rye by any stretch. It's a good, pleasant bourbon drinker's rye is what I would say. Roger, are you familiar with it at all? The Knob Creek 10-year rye?
yeah, I like it. Enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give up the ghost on this because it is not working, and I'm just going to run the ticker, and we'll go from there. And this will be one of those mysteries of life that Craig can only unveil for us. So when
Donna
Craig
wants to
gets
know,
back from his vacation,
Donna wants to know if $44 a bottle
I'm
is
back.
fine.
I'm
I paid $69.99, Donna. So if you can get that Knob Creek 10-year rye for 44, I'd say go for it.
yeah, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
All right. I'm running it.
Hey, Roger, you want me to help you get this thing to work?
Yeah, well, he's running it already.
Oh,
so.
you don't want me to help you, Roger?
All
Well, hang
right.
on.
Well, the winner tonight is
Oh, okay.
He's not listening.
All he has
to
to do is share his screen.
just share your screen.
I
Man.
give it up.
Or
I gave it up. I've blown the whole thing up. Our winner tonight is Kevin Halloran.
is Kevin still here?
Kevin, are you still here?
Congratulations, Kevin.
If you're still here, I haven't seen any.
Hey guys, you're going to be glad to know that we only have one show left with Roger at the helm of that, and from now on we'll get it working.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Kevin, here's the email. Send it over to us, and we'll get that out to you.
So here's the question: did you send Kevin's bottle out last week yet?
I don't. Craig.
I have not. I've been just a little bit busy.
I understand. So, well, now there's 2 bottles you can send to him. So
can you not hear me? I hear me.
Yeah. I hear you. We got you. Yep.
So there's 2 bottles that we got for Kevin now.
2 bottles. So I will just tell this story since we're all adults here. So I was at a retirement center today as Santa. And when that guy, his name was Frosty, the one that made the picture there that looked like Mike Brock. When he wheeled his little 4-wheel buggy around the corner, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm like, that is Mike Brock. He wore shorts like Mike Brock. He had the hat like Mike Brock. His voice sounded like Mike Brock. It was just amazing. And I had to pull some strings to get her to send me that picture that we took together just so we could put it on the show so I could rib on Mike Brock. And then Will, you say he's not even on here watching?
I mean, I haven't seen him. I mean, I can see if I can tag him, but
I think
I mean, he's in the chat apparently. I tagged him in the chat, but I haven't seen him.
Remember, he drove all the way back from Georgia the other night, so he might be asleep on Discord right now.
He might be asleep on Discord.
Or asleep on the show.
He may be. Yeah. And I also saw he was drinking. He killed a King of Kentucky today. They were drinking a Tanninger.
So he may be passed
Tupelo
out on
Runner
YouTube.
says,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's Mike.
That's
It's
not Mike. I'm telling you, he looked that close to Mike.
Yeah, I'll bring it back
It
up
was
here
pretty
again.
amazing, I have to say myself.
Yeah, that looks like Mike Brock.
I mean, it looks just like him.
Well,
He had a nicer mouth than Mike. He didn't cuss like Mike cusses.
I'm glad you qualified that with how he speaks and not something else. So what
Well-
else is going on, Craig? What else is going on?
Guys, it has been a long day today. It was 12 hours in the suit today. So 13 more days. I'm trying to get through 13 more days. Then you guys will have me back on Discord and everywhere else because I will be so lonely and bored from not having to be somewhere and do something that I'll want to be somewhere and doing something. So
we'll be back to day drinking and
that's
purchasing
about
expensive
it.
bottles.
I'm just hoeing around. That's all.
hoeing around.
Yeah, I don't really have any plans for that, but you never know. You never know.
yeah, if you're out there, go ahead and hit that like button.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is
we need some subscribers. So if you know anybody that hasn't subscribed, get them to
we
subscribe.
do need some subscribers, or we're never going to give away that 500. We when we were in Bardstown in October, I had already made that graphic that said 500 subscribers, and it is just went south. Everything is slow right now.
Well, we'll make it work. We'll get it going here again. I think things are going to speed up a little bit. Unfortunately, tonight looked like there was about 3 or 4 other shows that decided to do their monthly shows tonight. So, and that's Will dropping his microphone off of his hat.
Yeah. Well, the other one died, so I'm having to get my second mic and get it on.
Well, I know
on my hat.
we've got 20.
We got 27
we've got
people on.
We got 27 viewers now compared to earlier there was only like 19.
Well, we had to switch it up on him a little bit. We had to have our guest on
Anywho.
early because he had kids to take care of and put them to bed. So, and he's out on the East Coast, so we made it work. I changed the lineup on the show around a little bit. It worked. So
now I got to get my hat back on my head right. It doesn't feel right.
Well, next week, for those that are watching, next week we're gonna have on Mike Frug from the owner and operator there of JT Mellick. He's going to be on the show next week, and then the week after we're going to take off a week because it will be Christmas Day. And so we're not going to try to push whiskey on everybody on Christmas night. So,
well, that may be the night that they need.
New Year is looking very good. Well, maybe, but I need a day off. We've got some good shows coming up though in January. We're already starting to fill people, into our guest slots already into February now. So, So,
well, we got
some
JT
interesting
Mellick
guests
for next
coming
week.
up. I really didn't catch much of Whit's. So
He did a pretty good job. He was good and
Nice.
informative.
well,
He was able
hopefully
to
I'll
show
be
us all
on
the
a little
bottles.
bit earlier next week.
Yeah, and then another benefit about after the first of the year is that y'all will have Craig back and not me. So nobody will have to look at me anymore for a little while.
I don't know about that. I'm getting used to
Maybe
looking at
I
you.
might put him for my retirement.
Well, I was going to show.
I'll guarantee
some of
you
the-
though, I can make that show, the giveaway show up.
Well, Least of which we're going to have some JT
I think
Mellick to give away
we're
next
having
week.
some audio issues or something.
Can you
Seems
hear
like
me?
it seems like you're kind of lagging, Craig. You're like slower. Your audio's behind your video or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, something.
I think it's on your
All
end,
right,
Craig.
well, guys, I'm
I
going to
hear
sign
Roger
off.
fine.
You guys can run it however long you want.
Well, I think I just wanted to show some of the things
All
we're
right,
going to
I'm
give away
leaving.
next week.
Bye.
See you, Craig. Yeah, I think Craig may have been having some internet issues there, Roger.
I'm trying to get some more bottles next week for our JT Mellick. I don't know. I haven't talked to them too much whether they're planning to give away a bottle, but we're probably going to give away a sample. This is of the 118 proof JT Mellick wheat whiskey. We'll at least give away a sample, maybe a bottle. This is the JT Mellick Louisiana, and it's a single barrel. This happens to be a pick from Specs that Seth, who is friend of Ernest, and they went down to the Still Austin drop, and they were able to secure that for me. And then something a little different, which I think might, being the holidays, because the wives want to drink vodka a little bit. JT Mellick makes an award-winning rice vodka that is apparently really, really good. So I've got those three so far to kind of play with next week and give away as samples. And hopefully we'll have some bottles, some other bottles, and we'll make it a Christmas spectacular.
Nice. And then I've got like the Arkansas, Louisiana pick, the boot. That's JT Mellick. If we do a sample flight, I'll throw in a sample of that too.
That'll work too. So, well, anybody, if you have anything else, if I see the bar's open in Discord, so if you want to hop onto the bar, jump on over to Discord, and the bar is going to be open.
I'll throw that Discord link out there too in case anybody doesn't have it.
Yep. And then as we go through this week on the Discord, if you guys get a chance, or on our Facebook page or any of the other things, put out some of those unicorns you're looking for Christmas. And we will make sure that Santa gets all that a completed list by everybody, so we can move on down the line. I mean, I'm starting to get tired here. So I think it's about time to say goodnight, and everybody stay safe. Have a good rest of the holiday time. We'll see you next Thursday. And who's supposed to hit the button now? Is it Marty?
Marty hits the button on Live from the Patio. So since we don't have a Marty, I guess, Roger, you have to hit the button.
For the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold, from grain to glass, through fire and flame, every pour's got a legend's name.